All right, take 3. You're never going to hear the other 2 takes because I already deleted them. All right, so I just watched Egypt lose in the World Cup to Argentina, and I gotta say, I'm real disappointed. It was one of the greatest smash and grab jobs of all time. I was pulling for Egypt big time. I like new winners, new champs. You know, Argentina's the reigning champs. They won it 4 years ago in Qatar. Yeah, they've won it 3 times in the past. I don't care for the Argentinian team. I don't like their brand of football. But I got all worked up, and then it took me a half an hour to come down enough to do this pod, which is going to get me all worked up again. So welcome back to Trent Takes On 2.0. Let's get started. Thank God there's nothing going on right now, he said sarcastically. I don't usually say it in the intro to this show, but I did today. This is Trent Takes On 2.0. I'm the Trent from the title of the show. I am podcasting again from ye old garage. It's not overly hot today, but the last time I recorded one of these shows out here, got eaten alive by bugs. Yuck! So, it's July. What day is it? July 7th? July 7? Is it 7th? 7. I love it. It's July 7th. It's almost noonish. It's lunchtime. I'm still fasting. And I got to say, I'm pretty hungry. But will that stop me from doing a full show? I doubt it. Not today. Because I have lots to talk about. And I want to start with something that I talked about 4 weeks ago on the show. And that is one Maine Senate candidate, Graham Platner, who, as of this moment, is still in the race. I checked right before I came on here. I did a show 4 weeks ago where I talked about Graham Platner. And I wouldn't say that, all right, I would say that I was defending him against some of the quote unquote things that had been hurled at him, because the things that had been hurled at him hadn't risen to the point of illegality. Everything that he was like bad decision, like you got a bad tattoo. Yeah, that's not illegal. You posted some stupid stuff on Reddit. Not illegal. Even the women who had come forward and said he had concerning behavior. I'm like, concerning behavior? What does that mean? You're going to have to be a lot more specific, right? Well, it got a lot more specific. Yesterday in Politico, there was an article about a former girlfriend of Platner's who very credibly accuses him of sexual assault. I mean, yeah, this one's way too far. Apparently, this happened in 2021. There's a lot of confirmation of it, with everything from emails to her therapist regarding it to a subsequent boyfriend that she discussed the thing with, and apparently she also reached out to somebody, or somebody else also reached out to her about Platner, and she kind of alluded to it. So I mean, there's some contemporaneous stuff that proves that the incident, I don't know what you call it, that it probably happened. She claims he was blackout drunk. And the next morning she asked him if he remembered anything. He said he did not. She did tell him, she informed him, and then she cut off all contact with him. So, this lady's on the up and up. You believe her. I actually believe the last ladies as well. I mean, including the Republican operative who said that he handled her a little bit, and that she said it didn't rise to criminal, like she said that. So, that's it. Graham, I believed in you. I believed in your kind of politics. But this is a personal thing that is too much. It's a bridge too far. So, I hope he he needs to withdraw from the race immediately. He needs to stay the fuck out of politics. And he's fortunate that she hasn't pressed charges and that the DA hasn't pressed charges on him, because he's probably guilty of this. I hate to say it. I don't live in Maine. I don't really have much say in any of this. I don't even have a listener in Maine. I don't remember seeing Maine in my list of. I got a list of dozens of places where I have active listeners, and Maine is not on the list. I probably had some people listen when I did a Platner episode and titled it "The Platner of It All." Do I regret the episode? I guess is a good question. Yeah, a little. I was operating on the information that I had at the time, and like many people, I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe in this guy. I wanted to believe in his redemption arc. I wanted to believe in him overcoming some things. But this, no, this one's a crime, my friend. A crime for which, he did not pay the penalty for it. And there's a victim, and this is not okay. So, the everyman thing, it doesn't count anymore, because not every man does this. This is hard. It's hard to believe in somebody and have the rug pulled out from under you. I really liked Eric Swalwell, and it turns out he multiple times has done things that are worse than what Platner did wrong. And that's bad. This is double bad, triple bad, quadruple bad. It's illegal. It's just fucking morally wrong. So, I hope more women run in these races. More upright citizens continue to run in these races. I hope that we don't learn the wrong lesson from the Platner experience. I want regular people to be able to run for office, because that's important. It's important to get these different points of view into the legislative body, into the executive bodies, because if all we're counting on are, squeaky clean lawyers and kids who went to college to study political science, and then they've been obsessed with being a congressman their entire lives, and so they go to college and they graduate and they start working on campaigns, and they're just political animals through and through. I don't know that modern politics works properly anymore. We need more regular people in these bodies to be able to show, to represent regular people. You know what I mean? If all you've ever known is politics, you don't know what it's really like. You don't know what it's like to apply for jobs and not get them. You don't know what it's like to struggle. You don't know what it's like to have. And in some cases, these people probably will, but it's not the same experience. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed that Platner lied. I'm pissed that he knows that this is in his back. He knows that this was coming, and he lied about it. And he said, nope, it's everything that's come before. This is as bad as it gets. And I deny these allegations. He denied this one too. Whether he denies it or not, he needs to get the fuck out of the race, and for the good of the country and the good of his state and the good of his family and himself. He needs to get the fuck out of politics, keep his head down, and try to be a good person, and hope that he doesn't end up in prison. That's where I want to end the Graham Platnerness of it. I'm going to go back and make note on the prior episode that I discuss, the further fallout in this episode. I'm not going to pull down the old episode, because I don't think it's right for me to do that. I can't pretend that I didn't make a mistake in believing in somebody. Everybody seems to have pulled their support from him, from Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren to Ruben Gallego, and the list goes on and on. Mayor Mamdani asked for him to step out of there, said he should step out of the race today. He didn't ask for it. Somebody asked his opinion and he gave it. And, Too much, Platner, too much. And I don't ever want to have to talk about you again now. There you go. So I hope that Maine has a process and replaces him toot sweet. Otherwise, the sumbitch is going to stay on the ballot, and we're going to end up with 6 more years of the most concerned senator in the body, Susan Collins, serving her 6th term as Maine senator. I don't want that. So what else happened? July 4th happened over the weekend. It was July 4th. It was the 250th birthday of the Declaration of Independence, and therefore, kind of the country as a whole. Like we say that that's our birthday. I mean, technically speaking, the American Revolution started well before that, and we weren't recognized as a country by many other countries for a while, but we did get there. The Declaration of Independence, I have always said, is the lens through which the Constitution is supposed to be viewed, or vice versa, I guess. I don't know. But the two documents are supposed to go together. That's what Madison and Hamilton and John Jay said. But what do I know? Donald Trump made it all about him because he had to. They put together the Great American State Fair on the Washington Mall, the National Mall, and no one went. It was a joke. It was so lightly. Jimmy Kimmel's joke about it was more people showed up at his DUI hearing. It's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny joke. DUIs are not funny. I do want to talk about alcohol a little bit later in the show, so let's put a pin in that. My gosh. No one went. What a surprise. What a shock. The heavens opened up and they had thunderstorms right when Trump was supposed to speak. Apparently God didn't want him to talk yet. Made everybody think about it a little longer. There was an amazing Fox Live shot of Donald Trump watching Fox News through a window. So there was a Fox News shot of Donald Trump watching himself on Fox News. Isn't that wild? That's wild, isn't it? He gave a speech. Apparently, no one fucking watched it. He claims 40 billion Americans watched it. I think that was a joke. Somebody tweeted that Donald Trump said that 40 billion Americans watched. There aren't 40 billion humans. Yeah, he probably said something stupid, like 40 million people watched it, and that's just not true. And apparently he started talking at like 11 o'clock, and the fireworks went off after midnight, so they were on July 5th. And, whatever. I took my kids up the hill. We watched fireworks from all across, like, western or eastern Riverside and San Bernardino counties. We had a really good view of the ones from our city and a couple of sister cities. We just went up the hill a bit and parked on this one stretch of road. We took some of the neighbors with us. There was a little group. It was fun. It was nice. There were really impressive fireworks displays. I used to work in the industry, in the fireworks industry, before I joined the alcohol industry. More on that later. So I'm familiar with them, and I mean, I still appreciate a nice fireworks show. I think we're probably at the point where the cool ass drone shows, that's more impressive to me, like by a lot. The drone shows are legitimately amazing. So, super duper cool. So that happened. July 4th happened. We've got more. Excuse me. There's somebody slamming a door nearby. We got more, what you would call them, primaries coming up. That's exciting. Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General and Senate candidate Ken Paxton keeps getting caught on trips with his fiance, or with his fiance, with his mistress. Remember, he got, I don't know, is she still his mistress? Did he get divorced? I know his wife filed for divorce on biblical grounds, which of course is Texas code for he cheated on me. But he's having an affair with some married lady. Anyway, he keeps getting caught. Got caught again last night. Apparently he's in London. Instead of campaigning for Texas Senate, he's gallivanting around with his special lady friend, I guess. I don't know what would you call? I don't. Whatever. In the meantime, James Tallarico continues to make good inroads in Texas, and Texas is in play in the Senate, which is, I guess, good because Maine may not be, because okay, FIFA. Anyway, also, I guess the last thing I really want to talk about, it's going to become the title of the show, is the World Cup is going on in the United States. Technically, it's in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. All three host countries were knocked out in the round of 16. Canada lost on Saturday. Mexico lost a heartbreaker to England on Sunday. And the United States got absolutely pummeled yesterday on Monday by the Belgian team. Yeah. So in the last American game before this one, the American striker, leading scorer, if you don't know anything about football, you're just going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? One of the American players, name's Fowler and Balogun, he committed a foul. It was an accident. He was given a red card for it, and that meant he was sent off for the remainder of the match in the round of 32, and he was suspended for the next game automatically, according to the rules, the FIFA rules. The Football International Federation International Football, whatever it is, blah, 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 FIFA, the most corrupt group in the world. They're the ones that put on the World Cup tournament. Well, it turns out after that red card was given, Donald Trump has a liaison to the World Cup named Andrew Giuliani, son of, yes, that Giuliani, or Rudy the Nosferatu with the drippy hair dye, Giuliani, yeah. Used to be America's mayor, and then he went crazy. He was a little crazy before. He was actually an asshole before that, for the record. But to his credit, he stepped up and led in a time when we needed some leadership. So, a little hats off to that. But, that moment's gone. Since then, he's been up to no good, and his son is, well, cut from the same cloth. Andrew Giuliani complained to Trump, explained it all. Trump called the president of FIFA, Gianni Infante, and the red card was miraculously rescinded, and Balogun was allowed to play. I think it's pretty obvious that the right thing to do would have been for the coach to tell him, I can't play you in this game, but he didn't do that. The right thing would have been for his teammates to say, man, don't play in this game, but they didn't do that. The right thing would have been for Balogun himself to say, no, this isn't right. I'm not going to play in this game, but he didn't. And I think it's fair to say that the distraction of it all affected everything about the game. And the United States performed very poorly. And Belgium came out on a mission, and they handed the United States team their butts. So that's that. We're out of the tournament. The World Cup is a big deal. It's the most important soccer tournament in the world. It's more important than the Olympics. In fact, it was originally the Olympics, and then they split off so that soccer would have its own special tournament. And we didn't play in the Olympics at all. Well, they went back and they started playing it in the Olympics later, but the World Cup still exists, and it's still a magical tournament. And people from all over the globe, 48 countries, have come to the United States, Canada, and Mexico to cheer on their nations. And it has been an amazing event in spite of, shoddy treatment of the United States by, like, the Iranian national team. We refused entry to a Somali ref on very, very sketchy grounds. Anyway, we haven't been the most gracious hosts as a nation because the administration that's in charge right now, the regime that's in charge right now is very anti the rest of the world. I think that the American people have been really good hosts. The public at large have celebrated with, like the Orange Army from Netherlands and the crazy Norwegian rowers and the Brazilians who dance in the streets and like everybody has really had a blast. Like the African teams that were so exciting. Morocco is still alive in this tournament, so there's still one African team left. Should have been two. Egypt got robbed. Everyone has been really embraced and had a good, it seems like they've had a really good time. The United States men's team was having their best tournament ever. And then Donald Trump put his grubby hands on it and messed everything up. And I think that that's a real thing, So all in all, FIFA is in desperate need of an overhaul to root out all of the horrible corruption. But it's a topic for bigger podcasts than mine. And finally, that's all that's going on in the world, and the world is fucking nuts. Finally, I wanted to say a few things about alcohol, an industry that I worked in for over a decade. Unfortunately, how about that? Unfortunately, the night that I did the Platner episode 4 weeks ago, I had a cocktail in hand. You can hear me jingling the ice around as I chat. And I wanted to address this because Platner's problem, it seems, is booze. He seems to overindulge and to get his ass into deep ass trouble. And I wanted to say something about alcohol in general. I know more about alcohol than most people ever should. I think it's something that you should always treat in moderation. You should always use in moderation. I haven't. I used to drink to excess quite a bit. I became kind of legendary for it, but I also figured it all out. I figured out all the riddles. I know how to quote unquote handle my booze. I know which one is the tipping drink. And so I don't drink every day by any means. I think I did when I worked in the industry, but it was, very social, going out to dinner and having a glass of wine or I didn't drink every day, to be honest. I really didn't. You kind of get over it. I was a bartender. I went to bartending school in 2003, I think. I don't know, over 20 years ago. I went to bartending school, I became a bartender, realized I did not enjoy it. And then I went into the retail end of it. And in the retail end of it, I started a lot of alcohol education. I became a certified beer server, which is part of the Cicerone program, United States Cicerone. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I passed my test there, and then I also passed my level 1 sommelier certification, and was en route to doing the second level certification when I got a new job, which had an internal wine professional program. And I started taking those tests instead because there was direct money attached to it. So I wanted to do that. So I've learned an awful lot about, and I've attended seminars with rum manufacturers, whiskey guys, scotch guys, tequila manufacturers, you name it, hard alcohol. I've been to wineries. I've been on wine tours. I've been to breweries and breweries and breweries. I worked in a brewery. Yeah. So I've seen alcohol left, right, and center. I stopped drinking beyond a bit when my almost 13-year-old was born. I just kind of I was like, well, okay. This feels unnecessary now. And I'll have an occasional glass of scotch or whiskey or whatever, just when the mood strikes. Sometimes when I'm podcasting with my guys on LA Clips Forum, I'll plug that. Plug. I think we're getting together for a show later tonight. So if you're interested in LA Clippers basketball or just kind of like generally weird takes on basketball, check us out. It's fun. But yeah, drinking is something that you need to keep under control. You don't have to be addicted for it to ruin your life. It can happen in a heartbeat. You can overindulge and end up blackout. Like most people can't. Blackout drunk and still be able to do things is really not common. For the most part, you hit a point where your body just stops responding to your brain's telling it what to do. That's what alcohol does to you. It's a low-grade toxin, kids. You're drinking poison. And if you do need help as an alcoholic or just somebody who has trouble with alcohol, people scream about the power of Alcoholics Anonymous. I have seen it change people's lives, so I can attest to it. That is a great resource out there for you. You should also visit your primary care physician and be honest about any issues that you have with alcohol. Alcoholism can take many forms. So it's just something to be mindful of, and educate yourself if you can. I don't promote drinking anymore. I just warn people that it is, if you're going to have it as part of your life, you need to remember to do it in moderation and to listen to common sense and listen to your body. When you've had too much, you've had too much, and you need to stop. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes if your brain isn't wired perfectly, then it can be impossible. Alcoholism is a disease, and it can ruin lives. It does ruin lives. So, and no matter what, please don't use alcohol and then operate motor vehicles or any other kind of vehicle. Really, I mean, taxi cabs, Ubers, phone a friend, have a designated driver before you go out. All those things are excellent ways to manage the whole drinking not at home version of drinking. All right. Well, that I think is going to do it for me today. What did I talk about? I talked about that shithead who lied to us. I talked about that shithead who's always lying to us. I could go on and on about the things that Donald Trump, I could do 10 of these podcasts a day when this shithead's in office and just fucking things up. Like he's going to give F-35s to Turkey, even though Congress is like, no, because, why should Congress get in the way? Sorry, I just heard that I was double. Anyway, the speaker on my computer was on, so I may have been in an echo there. And if I was, oops. I had to pause it. I just scratched my nose. Anyway. Yeah, this guy, man. We're almost to November, though. Everything changes if we can pull off well, it's not unthinkable. Pull off what needs to happen. We'll put it that way. So be prepared. Make sure that you have a plan to vote because they're doing everything they can to keep you from it. I also realized today that my driver's license expires next year, and I'm going to have to get one of those silly live ones. And so I got to kind of start digging up paperwork like now because it takes a while. So thank you for being on this journey with me. I apologize for the Platner thing. That was fucking, I really wanted to believe in somebody. Damn it. People let you down. I won't be back before you know it, probably later this week with another episode. So until then, please be good humans. It's the very least we can do. And love you.